There's a war happening inside you, and no one else can hear it. It's the war between what they told you to be and what you were born to become. You've been taught to shrink, to play nice, to stay low, and dream small. They taught you how to survive, but no one taught you how to dominate. Because if you ever realized the truth, you'd scare every insecure soul who ever tried to contain you. Here it is. You were not meant to be average, and deep down, you've always known it. Average is safe. Average is accepted. Average is easy to explain at parties. But you don't belong in that box, because you weren't built for the middle. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to break patterns. You're not supposed to just pay bills and die. You're not supposed to explain away your greatness. You're not supposed to carry their fear and call it humility. Listen close. Every time you belittled your dream to comfort someone else's insecurity, you betrayed your mission. And the mission is not small. You weren't sent here to be liked. You were sent here to change the temperature in the room. You walk in, and mediocrity should panic. You show up, and average should start sweating, because there's something in your bones that remembers the original design, remembers the blueprint before the world rewrote your code. That part of you is not dead. It's just been drowned in noise. You were programmed for greatness, but social programming rewired you for safety. They told you to stay in your lane. But what if you were never meant to have a lane? What if you were meant to build highways where none existed? Hear this. Greatness is not a fantasy. It's a frequency, and you've been tuned too low for too long. This is your recalibration. Let me say it again. You were not meant to be average. Let's talk proof. When Napoleon Hill sat with Henry Ford, he didn't just study how Ford built an empire. He studied why he believed it was possible in the first place. Because average minds don't ask for 8-cylinder engines when no one's ever done it. Average minds stop at the word impossible. But Ford told his engineers, "I don't care what you know, build it anyway," and walked out the room. That's the difference. Average needs permission. Greatness creates the plan. You want proof you're not meant for average. Look at what angers you. Look at what burns inside when you see wasted talent. Look at how you can't stand living beneath your calling. That frustration, that fire, that's proof. The system taught you to suppress it, to numb it, to call it being realistic. But here's the truth. Being realistic is the fastest route to being forgotten. Every revolutionary in history had to reject the realistic, because the life you want, the one you really want, is on the other side of rejection. Rejection from their rules, rejection from their fears, rejection from their low expectations. You're not chasing a fantasy. You're waking up from a coma, and this is your awakening moment. The world didn't give you that dream, so the world can't take it. But if you keep waiting for external validation, you'll never cross the threshold. Let this sentence pierce through. You don't need evidence to believe. Belief creates its own evidence. Read that again. Belief creates its own evidence. The ones who win are the ones who believe before they see it. Look at Edison. 10,000 failed prototypes for the light bulb. They called him crazy, but he called it progress. He didn't need permission. He needed conviction. And so do you. Conviction that your vision is real. Conviction that your calling is non-negotiable. Conviction that your future is too loud for your past to silence. You don't get there by accident. You get there by identity. You must become the kind of person who refuses to settle, who decides daily to walk like the room already belongs to them. This is your moment to draw a line in the sand, to say, from this day forward, I don't wear average. I don't speak average. I don't breathe average. Because average is death to a chosen one. And you are chosen. Chosen to disrupt the status quo. Chosen to outgrow your surroundings. Chosen to be evidence that greatness is a decision. Let them say what they want. Let them doubt. Let them point and whisper. Because while they talk, you build. While they laugh, you evolve. While they sleep, you execute. You were born with the divine fingerprint of distinction. No one else has your mind. No one else carries your mission. No one else can deliver your assignment. So stop asking average people to approve your extraordinary future. Your future doesn't need consensus. It needs commitment. This is not motivation. This is memory. You're not learning something new. You're remembering who you were before the world got in the way. Say this and mean it. I will no longer negotiate with smallness. I will no longer rehearse limits in my mind. I was not meant to be average because I was never created common. The future doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most certain. So here's your reset. You don't need more time. You need more decision. You don't need more proof. You need more faith. This is the reset. This is the shift. This is the line. Repeat it loud. I do not wait. I do not shrink. I rise. I move. I become. Now walk like the proof you've been waiting for, because you are. Your life is a reflection of the words you've accepted, not the truth, just the repetition. Your subconscious doesn't care what's real. It obeys what's rehearsed. This is not philosophy. This is programming. You've been coded. Every voice you let in became a line of code. Every doubt you absorbed became part of the system. And now, you're running outdated software, wondering why you keep hitting the same walls. Let's update the script. You've been told, you're too much, you're too intense. Be more realistic, be more normal. That's not feedback, that's a virus. It's how average protects itself. It labels your potential as a threat, because it is. But here's the secret. The world never taught you. The mind is programmable, and you're the coder now. Napoleon Hill called it auto-suggestion, not wishful thinking, intentional, identity-driven repetition. Every morning, every night, you plant the seed. You water it with words. You speak like it's done. Your subconscious is always listening, so you better decide what it hears. Hill said, any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. Read that again. Any idea, any purpose, any identity, installed by repetition. So if the idea is I was not meant to be average, you don't say it once. You say it until the earth trembles. Ford didn't wait for logic. He didn't consult reality. He installed the command, build the V8 engine, and walked out. His engineers came back and said, it can't be done. He said, do it anyway, then walked out again. He wasn't crazy. He was certain, because the mind obeys belief, and belief is installed. They built the V8, not because it made sense, but because Ford would not accept contradiction. That's the level you need. That's the mindset standard. No backup plan, no maybe, just command lines running like steel in your bloodstream. You must become a system of certainty. You wake up and tell your subconscious, this is who we are, this is where we're going, and nothing changes that. Your subconscious isn't loyal to truth, it's loyal to repetition. If you keep saying, I'm broke, I'm tired, I can't catch a break, your brain builds a reality around that pattern. But if you declare I am focused, I am chosen, I do not miss, your mind starts bending reality to make it true. That's not magic, that's mental engineering. You've got to speak with force, speak with finality, not hope, not one day, now already done. Hill studied this in Edison too, the man who failed 10,000 times and still kept speaking success into his bones. He didn't hope to make light, he decided he would, and kept declaring it even while the world mocked. Why? Because the outcome always bends to the voice that refuses to shut up. So what are you repeating? What scripts are running silently under your breath? Let's be real. If your inner voice was a person, would you trust them to lead your life? If not, it's time to fire that voice and install a new one that says, I don't wait for evidence, I create it. I don't need external validation. I'm internally certified. I don't follow the crowd, I build the path. This is your rewrite. This is your override. You're not just affirming, you're rewiring. You say it until the neurons rewrote, until the muscle memory kicks in, until your actions match the new identity. And here's the beauty. You don't need to feel it to say it. You say it until you feel it. Your feelings follow your focus, and your focus follows your words. So make your words weapons. Make them tools. Make them bricks that rebuild your internal kingdom. Speak like your future is already in motion, because it is. You can't afford passive language anymore. You don't say, I hope to succeed. You say, I'm becoming success with every breath. You don't say, maybe I'll make it. You say, it's already done. I just haven't arrived there yet. Say this with me now. And don't whisper, I do not wait to believe. I install belief. I do not repeat fear. I repeat power. My future is loyal to my words, and my words are aligned with greatness. This is the daily ritual, not just motivation, identity programming. And here's the Hill principle you need tattooed on your thoughts. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Not maybe, not if, it can achieve. So conceive it, believe it, speak it, repeat it, until your subconscious forgets anything else ever existed. That's how the shift happens. That's how belief becomes biology. That's how vision becomes fact. This is your mental gym, and repetition is your workout. Daily, out loud, without apology. Because average people are silent. But chosen ones declare. Declare it until your doubt submits. Declare it until your actions align. Declare it until your atmosphere has no choice but to obey. So say it again. I don't rehearse limitation. I recite domination. I don't question if I'm chosen. I act like I am. I speak my identity daily because I'm not building a dream. I'm becoming it. Now speak yours. Speak your new code out loud, every morning, every night, until it becomes your new oxygen, because your mind is listening, and it's building your world on whatever you tell it. So tell it something legendary. There's a decision you've been avoiding, and that delay is costing you destiny. You can't outrun it. You can't intellectualize it. You can't bargain with it. The truth is simple. You cannot serve two identities. One must die. You can't be committed and casual. You can't walk in certainty and still flirt with doubt. You can't declare greatness and entertain average on the weekends. One must die. One must be buried. And the shovel is in your hands. This is the law of no fallback. The law of no plan B. The law that made legends and broke every mediocre dreamer too scared to commit. You've got one shot to become who you were born to be. And halfway energy is disrespect. You say you're chosen, then burn the bridge. No more maybe. No more I'll try. No more waiting for perfect conditions. You think the greats waited? No, they committed. Then they figured it out. Cortez landed with ships full of men, then burned ships. Why? Because retreat was not an option. Because you fight different when you must win. Too many people lose because they leave the back door unlocked. You're not one of them. Lock it, board it, burn it. You say you want the life, but are you willing to kill the identity that's blocking it? You say you want results, but are you still negotiating with the version of you that settles? If the answer isn't allowed no more, you're still in limbo, and limbo is where potential goes to die. Listen, the decision must be final, not emotional, not seasonal, final. You've got to wake up and say, this is who I am now, and there's no going back. Total commitment is not loud, it's not fireworks, it's not flashy, it's quiet, it's internal, it's the way your feet move even when the mood doesn't. Napoleon Hill called it definiteness of purpose. Not try it out, not see what happens, but I've already decided. He studied the lives of over 500 of the world's wealthiest, most powerful people, and there was one thing they all shared. They burned the bridge. Carnegie didn't leave space for doubt. Edison didn't keep a career plan in case invention failed. Ford didn't say if, he said when. And that's the difference. You've got to decide that the old identity is dead weight and carry it no longer. You are not the same person who doubted last year. You are not the same person who settled last month. You are not the same person who hesitated yesterday. This is a new operating system. Your destiny is allergic to indecision. Every time you hesitate, you send a signal. I'm not sure I deserve it. That ends today. Say it loud. I've already decided, because when your decision is final, your energy gets sharp. Your eyes lock in. Your time gets sacred. No distractions. No detours. Just daily execution. You don't hope you'll succeed. You behave like someone who's already there. You walk different. You speak different. You think different. Because your mind is no longer wandering. It's warring. Every day you kill another excuse. Every day you bury another fear. Every day you prove to yourself that the old you is no longer in charge. And when your old self tries to rise, you don't negotiate. You don't comfort it. You silence it with motion. You don't owe your old self anything but a funeral, because the new you, the decisive you, is building things that version could never comprehend. This is how warriors think. This is how builders move. This is how kings and queens walk into rooms, not with arrogance but with certainty. The kind of certainty that cannot be faked. The kind that comes from burning every plan that isn't your purpose. Stop asking, what if it doesn't work? Start asking, what if I become everything I was created to be? You don't get that outcome with one toe in. You don't get that legacy with casual energy. This is all in. This is full volume. This is war mode mentality. The kind that says, I don't look back. I don't explain myself. I don't doubt what I've already claimed. This is your new loop. This is your new language. Say it loud. I've already decided. There's no reverse in my soul. I move forward because I've eliminated backwards. No more mental gymnastics. No more explaining your dream to people too small to understand it. No more energy leaks. You've already decided, and because of that, you're now dangerous to average. You're now immune to excuses. You're now untouchable by hesitation. Everything changes when you say it like you mean it. So let's say it again. I've already decided. I've already become. I've already crossed the point of no return. Now let your actions make it undeniable. Let your focus make it inevitable. And let the old you rest, because the future won't wait. And neither will you. Let me be clear. You don't rise alone. No matter how powerful your vision is, your environment will either elevate it or extinguish it. Because identity is contagious. And every person you keep around you is either feeding your future or feeding your fear. This is the part nobody warns you about. You could be doing the inner work, speaking your affirmations, walking in discipline, but if you're surrounded by average frequency, you're breathing in mental pollution. You become like the minds you align with. Hill called it the mastermind principle. The idea that two or more minds, working in harmony toward a definite purpose, create a third, invisible, powerful force greater than the sum of their parts. You feel it. When you're around greatness, your back straightens, your thoughts sharpen, your pace increases, not because you're imitating, but because something in you wakes up. That's no accident. That's the power of proximity. You were never meant to do this surrounded by people who only know how to survive. You were built to build. But you can't build on a foundation of small talk and self-doubt. Some of you need to go on an environmental fast. Cut the gossip, mute the mediocre, starve the noise, and start feeding your vision, because your circle is either a battery or a drain, and you've been drained too long. You're not obligated to stay loyal to spaces you've outgrown. Hill surrounded himself with legends. He interviewed Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Schwab, because he understood your destiny demands alignment. You can't bring a palace dream to a peasant-minded room and expect it to be protected. Stop casting pearls before people who don't even want better. You're speaking fire into wet wood and wondering why the flame keeps dying. It's time to upgrade your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. You don't need 10 people. You don't need applause. You need alignment. Even one soul who sees your future clearly can multiply your momentum 100-fold. But you've got to create that space. You've got to attract those minds. You've got to become that energy first. No one powerful wants to mastermind with someone who can't even manage their own frequency. You've already decided, and because of that, you're now dangerous to average. You're now immune to excuses. You're now untouchable by hesitation. Everything changes when you say it like you mean it. So let's say it again. I've already decided. I've already become. I've already crossed the point of no return. Now let your actions make it undeniable. Let your focus make it inevitable. And let the old you rest, because the future won't wait, and neither will you. Let me be clear. You don't rise alone. No matter how powerful your vision is, your environment will either elevate it or extinguish it, because identity is contagious, and every person you keep around you is either feeding your future or feeding your fear. This is the part nobody warns you about. You could be doing the inner work, speaking your affirmations, walking in discipline, but if you're surrounded by average frequency, You're breathing in mental pollution. You become like the minds you align with. Hill called it the mastermind principle, the idea that two or more minds, working in harmony toward a definite purpose, create a third, invisible, powerful force greater than the sum of their parts. You feel it. When you're around greatness, your back straightens, your thoughts sharpen, your pace increases. Not because you're imitating, but because something in you wakes up. That's no accident. That's the power of proximity. You were never meant to do this surrounded by people who only know how to survive. You were built to build, but you can't build on a foundation of small talk and self-doubt. Some of you need to go on an environmental fast, cut the gossip, mute the mediocre, starve the noise, and start feeding your vision, because your circle is either a battery or a drain, and you've been drained too long. You're not obligated to stay loyal to spaces you've outgrown. Hill surrounded himself with legends. He interviewed Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Schwab, because he understood your destiny demands alignment. You can't bring a palace dream to a peasant-minded room and expect it to be protected. Stop casting pearls before people who don't even want better. You're speaking fire into wet wood and wondering why the flame keeps dying. It's time to upgrade your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. You don't need 10 people. You don't need applause. You need alignment. Even one soul who sees your future clearly can multiply your momentum 100-fold. But you've got to create that space. You've got to attract those minds. You've got to become that energy first. No one powerful wants to mastermind with someone who can't even manage their own frequency. So get clear. Are you the kind of person you would want to build with? Because every room you walk into is a mirror, and every relationship is a vote for your future. The question is, what future are you co-signing by your proximity? You say you're chosen, then your atmosphere must reflect that. You don't tolerate weakness in your environment. You don't excuse laziness in your orbit. You don't let passive people speak into your purpose. You declare it now: I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. Not out of arrogance, but out of reverence for your assignment. This is spiritual. This is strategic. This is survival. If you were building a billion-dollar company, you wouldn't let untrained hands touch the foundation. So why let untrained minds build your belief system? You've got to curate your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. You think Carnegie would have handed his vision to someone who didn't even believe in ambition. You think Ford surrounded himself with maybe thinkers. No, they built mastermind alliances of people who were already bought in. That's what you need. That's what you're creating. This is not about networking. This is about neural alignment. Because when you link with someone who thinks like a builder, you don't just feel seen. You feel stretched. You rise. You expand. You grow faster because there's no drag on your flight. And here's the truth. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to walk away from people who love you small. Yes, they mean well, but they speak from their own limits. And you can't afford borrowed fear right now. You're building something generational. You're moving like someone who refuses to be common. You're walking like the room was built for you. So if your circle doesn't amplify that, it's not a circle, it's a cage. And you weren't born for captivity. You were born for cathedrals. So clean the room, rearrange the energy, upgrade the frequency. If someone isn't speaking life, they're speaking death by default. And you must guard your gates like royalty. You think this is harsh? It's not. It's the cost of elevation. Ask yourself this daily. Would the future version of me allow this conversation? Would they make this compromise? Would they tolerate this energy? If the answer is no, then you already know what to do. You weren't meant to fit in. You weren't meant to be liked by everybody. You were meant to be aligned with a few who see the fire and fan it. This is the call. Build your mastermind. Find your frequency. Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. And say this out loud until the atmosphere agrees. I attract builders. I walk with fire. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. Let the world adjust, or let it fall away. You're too aligned to carry dead weight. You're too called to stay surrounded by confusion. Say it again. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. Let that be the line. Let that be the law. Let that be your new normal. Average minds wait for motivation. Exceptional minds move with mission. You want to separate yourself? Then don't just do what's expected, do what's unreasonable. Over-deliver, over-prepare, over-commit, not because you want applause, but because you've become a person of overflow. You're not chasing greatness, you're embodying it. And greatness is never measured by output alone. It's measured by intention and identity. Let the lazy wonder why you do so much. Let the average mock your effort. Let the confused mislabel your commitment. Because here's the truth. You exceed expectations because it's who you are. This is deeper than work ethic. This is spiritual strategy. Every time you go beyond what was required, you are compounding momentum in the unseen. You're setting invisible standards. You're becoming the kind of person who can't even do just enough. And that identity becomes a magnet. It attracts opportunity. It earns trust. It silences doubt. Because the world doesn't listen to people who speak big. It follows those who deliver bigger. Napoleon Hill studied Charles M. Schwab, one of the richest men of his era. What made Schwab invaluable to Carnegie? It wasn't just skill. It was his unshakable habit of going above and beyond without being asked. He didn't clock out at 5. He didn't wait to be told. He moved like the results depended on him, because mentally they did. That's what over-delivery really is. Ownership. You stop being a task taker. You become a value creator. You stop asking, what do they expect of me? And start asking, how can I surprise this environment with excellence? You build a reputation that moves faster than your name. People start saying they always show up different. They always deliver more. They don't just do the job. They elevate the room. That's identity. That's legacy. And here's what makes it unstoppable. You're not doing it for recognition. You're doing it because it's encoded in your spirit. Andrew Carnegie said, "The man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled." Over-delivery is proof that your mind is under your command. Not emotion, not laziness, not distraction. Yours. It says, "I don't need the world to tell me to be excellent. I already decided." You're not waiting for the right mood. You are governed by mission. You're not reacting to your environment. You are reprogramming it through your effort. This makes you untouchable, because the world is full of talented people who never get seen, not because they lacked skill, but because they lacked the discipline to give more than they got. Over-delivery opens doors average effort can't even find. Ford didn't revolutionize the automobile by doing what was reasonable. He over-delivered on a vision the world laughed at. He refused to believe that what is was greater than what could be. And because of that, he didn't just make cars, he made history. This is the principle. If you want to rise above the crowd, give more than they expect, every single time. Not once, not sometimes. Always. You don't cut corners, you craft legacy. You don't clock in and check out. You leave fingerprints of excellence on every task you touch, whether anyone sees it or not, whether there's applause or silence. Because to you, excellence is not a performance, it's a principle, and that makes you dangerous. Average can't keep up. Laziness doesn't understand you. Complacency can't compete. You live on another frequency, one where effort is sacred, and value is your signature. So stop waiting for someone to recognize your worth. Prove it, daily, loudly, relentlessly. And when the voice of just enough creeps in, you crush it with this truth. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. Say it again. Say it until your body moves with it. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. You don't shrink when the bar is raised. You rise. You don't fear pressure. You convert it into performance. You're not intimidated by standards. You set them. You're not working for a paycheck. You're building a name, a legacy, a lineage of excellence that outlives you. This is what Hill meant by self-mastery. This is what Carnegie demanded of his inner circle. Over-deliverers don't wait for the stage. They build the foundation beneath it. And that's you now. That's your new normal. That's the identity you're locked into. Because once you operate at that level, opportunities start chasing you. Doors start calling your name. Rooms begin preparing for your presence. And here's the secret. You don't just change your life. You change every life connected to yours. Because when people experience your energy, they don't leave the same. They leave elevated. They leave inspired. They leave challenged to grow. And that's power. So move like you know who you are. Deliver like the future's already yours. And say it daily until your shadow speaks it too. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. I over-deliver even when no one's watching. I am the example I used to wait for. Let the world adjust. Let mediocrity exit quietly. Let results speak. You were not meant to be average. You were built to be unstoppable. This is not hype. This is not theory. This is not temporary fire that fades by morning. This is your final lock-in. This is the moment you seal the code, because repetition is not boring. It's how power embeds itself. It's how you install a new operating system and make it default. You've been programmed long enough by limitation, by lack, by lies handed down like heirlooms. But now, you write the new script. You run the new command. You wake up every day with one mission: to live as the identity you decided to become. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. But belief without ritualized repetition is just a spark. It never becomes a fire. You're not here to spark. You're here to burn through barriers with unshakable identity. And that starts with this truth. Your subconscious doesn't care what's true. It listens to what's repeated. So repeat this until it owns you. I don't hesitate. I build. I become. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. I've already decided. There is no plan B. Say it in the mirror. Say it walking down the street. Say it before you hit the stage. Say it before you press send. Say it like it's already real, because that's the only way it becomes real. Faith is not hoping. Faith is walking like it's already yours. That's the difference between dreamers and doers. Dreamers wait for permission. Doers decide. Then move like the ink is dry. You're a doer now. You're a creator of momentum. Every step you take is a vote for your future. Every thought you repeat is a brick in your identity. Every ritual is a signal to the universe. I am ready. I am real. I am rising. Don't miss this. Ritual isn't about motivation. It's about alignment. When you move in rhythm, even on the hard days, even when you feel unseen, even when results lag behind, that's the proof of identity. And identity never lies. It doesn't matter how you feel. It matters how you move, because motion rewires mindset. Discipline beats emotion. Faith in action always wins. So build your ritual. Wake with your affirmations. Rose, speak identity before you speak goals. Write your vision until your hand aches. Move in excellence when no one is watching. Surround yourself only with builders. Every ritual is a reminder. I am not average. I am not available for mediocrity. I walk like the room belongs to me because I belong to God and He sent me in power. This is spiritual. This is generational. This is non-negotiable. You are becoming the person you used to pray for. But becoming isn't passive. It's ritualized. It's repeated. It's relentless. So don't just hear this. Install it. Every day, every hour, until repetition becomes rhythm, and rhythm becomes reputation. Say it out loud. I act like it's done. I walk like it's already mine. I am not waiting. I am becoming. You can't skip this. You can't delegate this. You can't wish this into being. You become it. You prove it. You walk it out when no one's clapping. That's the difference between the remembered and the forgotten. The world remembers those who didn't just have a moment of motivation, but a lifestyle of faith in motion. And that's you now. You've crossed the line. No going back. The old version of you isn't asleep. It's dead. The version that hesitated, gone. The version that waited for signs, gone. The version that questioned their worth, buried. This is the rebirth. This is the code written in your bones now. You don't chase confidence. You repeat identity until your nervous system submits. You don't ask if you're ready. You act like it's already written, because it is, because you wrote it, because you decided it. You're not random. You're not replaceable. You're not one of many. You are one of one. You are the result of a divine equation that never included mediocrity. So let your life prove it. Let your rituals speak louder than your resume. Let your repetition rewrite your reality. Let your footsteps become faith prints on every ground you touch. And let the world wonder what changed. You don't owe them explanations. You don't need to justify your shift. You don't need to validate your fire. Because here's the truth. You are the answer. So walk like it, speak like it, build like it, deliver like it, lead like it, repeat like it, command like it, and finish this journey with your final loop. I don't hesitate. I build, I become. I exceed expectations. Because it's who I am. I act like it's done. I walk like it's already mine. I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. I've already decided. There is no plan B. I was not meant to be average. I am built for extraordinary. Let the world adjust. You're done explaining. You're done waiting. You're done wishing. You are the answer.